Okay, amazing. Hi guys. My name is Lindsay. If you haven't practiced with me before, welcome. So today I don't really have much of a plan. I did just get back in from a really beautiful bike ride. It's sunny here in Vancouver. I do always find that it's nice to kind of get back on my mat after a long bike ride and just kind of stretch the body out. So I'm feeling like I could use some opening in my shoulders, definitely in my hip flexors. Other than that, no real plan for today, and so I invite you to just jump on your mat and we'll flow together. So as always, we're gonna start in a seated position. Feel free to prop up onto a block, a cushion, or a blanket if you have one. And then find a comfortable seat that works for you. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a cross-legged seat. You can sit kneeling on your heels instead if you like, or even legs extended. But think about sitting up nice and tall. So rooting down into your sit bones here, lengthen up through the crown of your head. I like to roll my shoulders up together and down the back, and then just let them soften. Try and find that sweet spot where the shoulders are resting over the hips. And then just let your palms lay in your lap, wherever they land, most comfortably, most naturally. And with a little humble chuck of the chin towards the chest. Invitation here to close the eyes. If that doesn't feel comfortable for you today, you can find a soft, focused gaze point out in front. And just take a couple of rounds of breath here. I like to use these first couple of breaths really just to feel myself arrive, clearing away any clutter from the day. And really giving myself permission to dedicate these next few moments on my mat to myself. I invite you to do the same. It might even feel nice to take a deep breath in through the nostrils, and then open up the mouth and exhale it out. Make some noise, really release. And then take that again. Inhale, big breath in through the nose, get a little bit taller. Open mouth, exhale, empty. And then one more like that. Big breath in, fill up. Let something go as you breathe out. Good, from there, lick the lips, seal them softly shut. And start to take your breath in and out through the nose. Both the inhales and the exhales travel through the nostrils now if you can. And we'll start to pay a little bit more attention to our breath here. And in this way, as we guide our intention into our breath, we can really allow it to become an anchor, which helps us stay more present for our time on the mat. And then start to really pay attention here. So notice the qualities of your inhales and the qualities of your exhales. Tuning into what the breath sounds like, tracing the path of the breath within the body. Noticing the texture, maybe even the depth. And then let's join our breath together once again. So starting with an empty set of lungs, exhale here. Take a deep breath in through the nose, filling all the way to the crown of the head, and then exhale to let that breath go out through the nose. Good, slight constriction at the back of the throat. Inhale. And exhale here. One more inhale through the nose. Matching exhale out the nose. Option if you wish. On your next inhale, you can join your hands together at the center of your heart. If there's an intention that you wish to place for your time on your mat today, you're welcome to do so. So maybe a place that you go to draw internal strength, motivation, or maybe it's just simply a devotion note. And whatever that means to you today, take the next breath in and invite that intention in. And softly allow the hands to float away from the heart as you gently flutter open the eyes. Okay, let's make our way onto hands and knees to start, and we'll take a few cat-cows here, gently warming up the spine. Taking a moment here to line up your foundation. So your shoulders will stack over your wrists, And your hips will line up over your knees. Your back rather is flat, so draw the low belly in so you're not sagging through the hips here, you're not rounding too high. Long, straight spine here. You can either tuck all 10 toes behind you or press down through the tops of the feet. I like to tuck the toes to offer a little opening through the soles of the feet as well. It can feel really nice. And then starting to join our breath and our movement together. On your next inhale, you can drop the belly down, lift the gaze up. Press into the mat as you exhale and round your spine. Tuck your chin to your chest. Good. Inhale, drop the belly, gaze lifts, feel the sit bones broaden. Hug your low belly in as you exhale, round your spine. Head falls hip. And then take 2 more here, just moving at the rhythm or the pace with your own breath. And then using your next inhale to come back to a neutral spine. And then setting up for downward facing dog. If your toes are not already tucked, you can lift the feet and tuck the toes. Stay really active through the hands here. So set yourself up for success. Spread your fingers wide right now. Grip the mat with all 10 finger pads. And then when you're ready, this action of pressing the earth down and away is going to lift your hips back and up. Coming into your first downward facing dog, creating that inverted letter V through the body. Now feel free to explore the shape with any movement that feels natural or intuitive. You can pedal out the feet, bend alternate knees. You can shake your head yes, shake your head no. Let go of any tension that you're holding on to in the back of the neck. And a couple more breaths like that. Moving intuitively with your breath. Eventually we're going to meet in a static downward facing dog. Come to stillness. Feet are hip distance apart here. Heels lining up behind your toes. Bend your knees as much as you need, especially on your first couple of down dogs. Give your body that space and time to really open. So feeling this all the way down the backs of the legs. And see if you can melt your heart towards your thighs so your side bodies lengthen. And then allow the head to be heavy here. Still get that firm grip through the palms, maybe even pressing a little bit more into your thumb and your index finger to take any pressure out of the wrists. And then joining our breath together once again. So exhale all your air, empty. Take a full breath in. Full breath out. And then just one more right here. Inhale together. Exhale and empty. On your next inhale, you'll lift high up to your toes, look forward. Bend your knees and step or walk your feet up towards the top of your mat. Take your time to arrive. Separating your feet here, hip distance apart. So that's about 2 fists between the inner arches of the feet, more or less. You're going to bend your knees deeply. Generous bend to the knees, drape your torso over your thighs. Once again, allow your head to be heavy here. You can even draw that humbleness, chin to chest action. And just shake out through the back of the neck so you let any tension go. And you can allow the knuckles here to graze the mat, or you might choose to rub on the opposite elbows. And then really sense that gravity is doing the work here. Feeling that tractioning or lengthening here through the spine. And then focus on rooting through all 4 corners of your feet evenly. Back to center. Release the grip on the arms if it's there, but keep that soft bend in towards your knees and the chin in towards the chest. Pressing down through your feet. You're going to start to roll your spine up notch by notch, vertebra by vertebra. Head, neck, and shoulders will come up last, so take it slow. Stacking vertebra and vertebra. Eventually standing nice and tall here in your mountain pose. Relax the shoulders, open the chest. I like to bring my feet together, but you can keep your feet hip distance. Either option, you're going to spread your toes nice and wide, root through the full surface area of your feet. So think about pressing down through the pinky toe mound, the big toe mound, and the 2 edges of your heels. You can even rock from front to back or side to side here. And then find that balance point in center. Relax your arms alongside you with palms facing forward. And then let's start to flow here together. On your next inhale, press down, reach the arms up. And then as you exhale, hinge from the hips and fold. Bend the knees here as much as you need while you flow down. Halfway lift on your inhale. Option to take your hands to your shins or blocks if you have them. Plant your hands, step back to a plank pose. Think top of a push-up here. Your shoulders are going to line up over your wrists. Your heels line up over your toes. You can modify this by dropping the knees to the mat, but keep drawing your heart forward between your upper arm bones wherever you're at. That action of pressing the earth away, really firmly start to dome your upper back. And then draw your belly in so your core is still contained. And then as you reach back through your heels, draw the crown of the head forward. Gaze just past the tip of your nose. And then we're just gonna come back here and breathe. Take a full inhale. Good, hold here for your exhale. Big breath in. Hold for your breath out. Building fire, one more. Big breath in. Full breath out. Nicely done. On your next inhale, shift your weight onto your tippy toes. Again, option to touch your knees, and as you exhale, elbows are gonna hug in and back to lower you all the way down. Untuck your toes here, press the tops of the feet firm. Baby cobra, you're gonna lift your heart, roll your shoulders back. And then you're gonna hold here for a moment. So try not to have a lot of weight in your hands. You can even play with this idea of floating them away from the mat. Make sure that you're pressing down through the tops of the feet, so much so that the kneecaps start to draw away from the earth. Then you know your legs are engaged and helping to support the low back here to lift the chest. We'll take another full breath in, lift a little bit higher if you've got the space. And then as you exhale, soften the heart back towards the mat. We're gonna press back to downward facing dog, option to come through the knees. Take a full breath in when you arrive. And a complete breath out. Tuning into the rhythm of your breath. Stay here for 2 more. And letting your breath be your anchor here. Stay present. Okay, on your next inhale, lift high up to your toes, look forward, bend your knees, step or walk your feet up. Halfway lift on your inhale, long flat back. Forward fold as you exhale, hollow it through the belly. Press down, inhale, circle the arms overhead, reach the arms up. And then draw your hands into your center of your heart, release your arms, release your breath. Stay here for a moment of pause. Connecting again to the sensation of the breath pulsating within you. Okay, second round, open the eyes if they're closed. Inhale, reach the arms up. Bow forward and down as you exhale, hinging from the hips, long spine. Halfway lift, inhale to lengthen. Plant your hands, step back, high plank pose, top of a push-up. Stay here for just 1 breath this time. Inhale, look forward. On your exhale, option to lower all the way down, 1 long line this time. Again, elbows hug in towards the rib cage to lower. Untuck your feet once again, press the tops of the feet firm, all 10 toenails connect. This time you're just gonna tense your fingertips on either side of your mat, elbows high in line over the wrists. And then progressively warming up the spine here. On your next inhale, we'll come a little bit higher, fingers down, cobra. And then exhale, lengthen the heart forward and down towards your mat. 2 more, inhale. Exhale, lengthen and lower. 1 more round, big breath in, lift your heart. Full breath out, all the way to the earth. Replace your hands underneath your shoulders, transition back, downward dog. Stay here, take a full breath in, and a deep breath out. 2 more breaths here. I almost like to think of downward facing dog as really that opportunity to reconnect to the rhythm of my breath. Keep me focused and centered. Last breath here. On your next inhale, lift high up to your toes, look forward, and as you exhale, bend your knees, step, hop, or float your feet to the top. Halfway lift on your inhale, folding forward as you exhale. Rising all the way up, inhale, reach the arms overhead. Pull the hands into the center of your heart, release the arms, mountain pose. Okay, last sun salutation here. Follow your breath, inhale, reach up. Forward fold as you exhale. Halfway lift, inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Plant your hands, step back, this time right away. Lower halfway or all the way. Your exhale is going to take you there. Option for upward dog on your next inhale. And then as you exhale, roll back over the toes. Low belly hugs in to draw the hips back. Pausing here, take a full breath in. Deep breath out. Okay, this one on your inhale, send your right leg up towards the sky, strong and straight. Step your right foot forward and through and lower your left knee to the mat. Nice and slow here on your inhale, rise up with control, low lunge pose. And then holding here as you exhale, relax your shoulders down. And then think about drawing your low belly in. Nice and long through the sides of the waist. And then keep your right big toe mound rooting as your foundation. Breathing into the shape. Stay here for another full inhale. Nice work, deep exhale. Plant your hands down to frame your foot. Tuck your back toes, and then option, back knee can stay lowered, or lift your back knee off the mat, working your back leg towards straight. Really high on the ball of your back foot, heels over the toes, so that left quad is engaged. And then you can walk your left fingertips a little bit wider than your mat. And on your next inhale, sweep the right arm up towards the sky. Big open twist towards the right. Think about drawing your outer right hip back, inner left hip forward. Squeeze the inner thighs here. Take another full breath in. Deep breath out. And look towards the mat. Curl your hands to frame your front foot. Step back. Option vinyasa here, or you're welcome to skip it and come straight to downward facing dog. So these vinyasas will be optional from here on through. Take what you need, leave the rest. Meeting in down dog, take a full cycle in and a deep cycle out. Okay, next inhale, left leg's gonna lift. Step your left foot forward and through, lower your right knee to the mat. Low lunge, inhale, rise up, Anjaneyasana. Settling in here as you exhale, relax the shoulders down. Think about that scissor action of the inner thigh, so outer right hip back, inner left hip forward. Getting the front ribs to your back ribs so your belly stays toned. Long through the sides of your body, the sides of your waist. Take a full breath in. Deep breath out. And one more inhale. On your exhale, plant your hands to frame your front foot. Walk your right fingertips a little bit wider. Option to keep your back knee on the mat, or you can tuck your back toes and lift your right knee away. Pressing into the ball of your back foot, reach back through your heel, heart forward, lengthen the spine first. And then on your inhale, sweep the left arm up towards the sky, coming into that big open twist to your left. Again, your back knee can stay lower, no problem. Think about hugging your low belly in and really finding that twist from the belly button up the spine. Maybe your gaze reaches up towards the sky. Take another full inhale. Look down as you exhale, plant your hands, step back, flow through, or meet us in down dog, your choice. Inhale's gonna lift your beautiful heart. And then exhale back over the toes, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. Deep breath out. One more right here, inhale. Fullest exhale. Lift up high to your toes, look forward. Bend your knees, step hop or float your feet to the top. Halfway lift on your inhale. On your exhale, bow forward, chin into chest last. Rise all the way up, reach up, inhale. Draw your hands towards the center of your heart as you exhale. Release the arms, stand tall, mountain pose. Maybe close the eyes for a moment here and see if you can resist the urge to fidget or disturb. Just simply be. Okay, open the eyes. Inhale, reach the arms up. Bend your knees as you exhale and sit down, low chair pose. Sending your weight more towards your heels here. Low belly can lift away from your thighs, and then see if you can soften around the edges of your neck here. If this feels like it's too much on the shoulders, then just draw hands to the center of your heart instead. We're gonna stay here. See if you can really tap into your breath. So yes, we're building a lot of fire, a lot of heat, but see if you can keep that fluidity of the breath. Allow yourself to be really in it, not in the story of how long we're gonna be here. Focusing on this inhale, this exhale. Take 2 more right here. Maybe sit a little bit deeper. Whew. Burning, take another full breath in. On your exhale, breathe out and forward fold, sweet release. Halfway lift as you inhale. Let your hands step back, high to low push-up. Press into the tops of your feet to lift into your back bend. And then downward facing dog as you exhale. When you're ready, stay firm through the hands. Lift your right leg up towards the sky. Bend your top knee and then roll and stack your right hip open. Opening up along that right hip flexor. Be mindful here that you're not dumping all the weight into your left shoulder. So see if you can press a little bit more into your right hand and square the shoulders off here. Melting your heart towards your thighs. 2 more. On your next breath in, square the hips off, press your right heel back, take an inhale here, lift a little higher. Then as you exhale, knee in towards your nose, shift your shoulders over your wrists. Take that again, right leg lifts, inhale. On your exhale, knee to nose, round and hug in. 1 more time, inhale, right leg to the sky, kick it back. Knee to nose as you exhale, you're gonna pause and hold at the top. Press the earth away, lift your hips a little bit higher, look forward. Good, and then lightly step your right foot between your hands, and then rotate your back foot down for a warrior 2. When you feel firm and stable through your feet, then you're gonna press down and windmill your arms up and open to a T. Take up a lot of space here. So I like to use the measurements of lining my ankles underneath my wrists. And then as you sink down into that front thigh lunge, keep squeezing your right knee open here. You're gonna feel this action of hugging your right glute underneath you, that's it. And then just as much as that front thigh is working, you're gonna counter that by pressing down to the outer edge of your back foot. And then your gaze can come softly over your front middle fingers here. On your next breath in, offer your right palm up towards the sky. Then as you exhale, exalt the warrior, reach up and back. Feeling a nice long line of energy here from your right hip crease out through your reaching fingertips. And then make sure you've still got that front thigh working. So sink a little bit deeper into the lunge if you've lost it. Staying here, soften your right shoulder, last breath. Rooting into your feet, once again, rise all the way up. And then sweep your arms behind your back, interlace your fingers and clasp your palms. You can roll your shoulders onto your back and squeeze the shoulder blades together behind your heart. Option to keep the elbows bent, or if you've got the space, you can start to work your knuckles towards the mat and working your arms towards straight here. And then just turn your heart open so it faces the top left corner of your mat. Staying really supported and strong through the foundation of the feet. Take a full breath in, lift your heart a little bit brighter. Then as you exhale, hinge forward and down, coming into a bowing warrior. We're gonna pulse that, press into your feet. Inhale, rise all the way up, shoulders back. Strong through the feet. As you exhale, draw your heart forward and down. 1 more time, inhale, rise. The legs are working. As you exhale, bow. We're gonna stay and hold this round. You can keep your arms draping up and over here, adding a little bit of a deeper stretch between the shoulder blades. That's really working for me today. It feels really nice. If that doesn't serve you, you can even walk your hands forward. So thinking almost like downward facing dog through the upper body, maybe even on the fingertips. And then taking a couple more breaths here. Let the head be heavy if you can. Good, release the interlace. Place your hands to the inside edge of your front foot and then walk yourself over towards the long edge of your mat. Pivoting all 10 toes to face in the same direction here, maybe shortening the stance here slightly. Setting up for your wide-legged forward fold. Pressing down through the outer edges of your feet, they're parallel with the short edges of your mat here. Bringing your weight more into the balls of your feet, take an inhale and lift from the center of your chest. As you exhale, hinge from the hips and fold here, and you can bend the knees here as much as you need. Crown of the head reaches towards the mat, your spine is lengthening, and you're getting this nice beautiful stretch from the back of the heels all the way up the back of the legs, right into the glutes. Play with walking your hands back between your feet and just feel how that changes the sensation a little bit deeper. 2 more. Good, walk your hands forward once again, lift your heart. Keep your heart lifted, turn all 10 toes to face the top edge of your mat. Plant your palms flat to the earth and then step your right foot back and bring your big toes to touch. Walk your right hand about 1 inch or 2 forward of your right shoulder and then carefully rotate onto the outer edge of your right foot, stacking the legs here for Vashisthasana. You can modify this by staggering your legs instead, and you can always take this down onto your right forearm. If you're staying on the palm, really active here, so spread your fingers wide. Grip the mat with all 10 finger pads. And then again, press down to lift your hips up. I'm going to sweep my arm up and overhead, left arm overhead, just creating that beautiful stretch along my left side body. Take 1 more full breath in. Deep breath out. Nice and slow, curl your hands to the earth, come back to a plank pose. Hold here, option to lower the knees. 3 chaturanga push-ups. Take an inhale, reach your heart forward. And then as you exhale, lower only halfway down. Press back up to rise, inhale through plank. Good work, take that again as you exhale, elbows back. Again, knees can stay on the mat. Press up, inhale. Last full round like that, exhale halfway, keep reaching the heart forward. Come all the way back up, plank pose. This time on your exhale, flow through or lift your hips to down dog. We'll meet in downward facing dog and take a moment just to come back to your center, pause, regain your breath. You can take an inhale through the nose and an exhale out the mouth, release a little heat if you like. Good, return to breathing in and out through the nose if you can. On your next inhale, left leg will lift. Roll and stack your left hip open. Bend your top knee and allow your left heel to fall up and over to your right glute. Even weight through both palms here, shoulders are square. Right heel is working towards the earth, just heading in that direction. It doesn't need to touch. A couple more breaths here. Maybe see if you can lift your left knee a little bit higher. That's it. Good, on your next inhale, square the hips and your left foot back. On your breath out, draw knee in towards your nose, shoulders over wrists. Left leg lifts on your inhale. Knee to nose as you exhale, round your upper back. Good, send it back. Inhale, big breath in. Knee to nose, big breath out, stay and hold this time. Draw your shin away from the mat. Press your earth away, look forward. And then gently step your left foot between your hands. Rotate your outer back heel down for warrior 2, Virabhadrasana B. Again, always building the pose from the ground up. Start with the feet, foundation first. And then rise up from that stability, that structure. Making any little micro adjustments you need there to the stance. And then make sure that you're, again, nice and centered. So shoulders sweetly lining up over the hips. So make sure you're not reaching far forward or drawing back. Coming to that place and then soften your shoulders here. Keep hugging your left sit bone under. Offer your left palm up towards the sky. Take a full breath in. And on your exhale, exalt the warrior. Full breath out. Staying nice and light in the back hand here. And then think about drawing your heart open towards the right. So you really start to isolate this beautiful stretch along your left side waist. Keep the integrity of the lunge to the front thigh. 2 more. Okay, pressing to your feet. Reach your arms up. And then sweep your arms behind your back. Take the opposite non-dominant grip. So opposite thumb on top this time. Again, really strong foundation through the feet. Draw your heart towards the top right corner of your mat. Take a full breath in. Draw the shoulders up and back. And then hinging from the hips as you exhale, bowing forward and down. We're going to pulse that. 2 more. Inhale, press into the feet. Rise up. Good. Exhale, lead with the heart. Bowing warrior. 1 more round. Inhale. Okay, you guys, here we go. As you exhale, we're going to stay and hold this time. Keep drawing your left knee open towards the pinky toe edge of your foot, so that's your front foot. Allow the chin in towards the chest so the back of the neck lengthens. And then remember, you've got that same option with the arms. You can lower your fingertips to the mat or keep the hands interlaced, reaching the fingers up towards the sky, really threading through the shoulder blades here. At the bottom of your next exhale, we're gonna release the interlace. Place your hands to the inside edge of your front foot, and then turn all 10 toes so they're facing the same direction. Outer edges of your feet line up with the short edges of your mat. Sitting up for a second set, wide-legged forward fold. Take a full breath in, reach your heart forward, and then as you exhale, hinge from the hips and bow. You can bend the knees as much as you need. Let the back of the neck be long here. And again, you're trusting the weight to come more into the balls of the feet. Any option you like with the arms, maybe taking your hands to the outside edges of your ankles, or taking peace fingers, wrapping them around your big toes. Then walk your hands forward if they're not already there. Look forward, lengthen your heart forward, and then turn all 10 toes to face the top of your mat. Palms flat to the mat. Step your left foot back and bring your big toes to touch. Side plank once again. Left hand about an inch or two forward of your left shoulder. Carefully here, rotate onto the outer edge of your left foot. Stacking or staggering the legs. Modify this pose in any way that you need. Really lifting the hips up towards the sky. Maybe your gaze comes up towards your reaching fingertips, or you can even draw that right arm up and overhead. Really stretching along your right side body here. The legs are stacked. Keep drawing toes back towards shin, active through the feet. Take one more full inhale. Carefully unwind as you exhale. Come back to your plank pose. Here we go again. Option to touch the knees. 3 chaturanga push-ups. Take an inhale, heart forward. As you exhale, lower halfway down. Good. Rise back up through plank. Inhale. Nice work, you guys. Halfway on your exhale. One more full round like that. Inhale to rise. Ooh, exhale, lower. Elbows hug in and back. Come all the way back up. Plank. Lift your hips. Down dog. Sweet release. Take a full breath in. And a noisy breath out. It can feel good to flutter your lips. Let something go. Settle back into your breath. Okay, lower the knees to the mat. Send your hips back towards your heels. Take child's pose for a breath or two. Allow the forehead to connect to the earth. Just let your heart melt between the thighs or on top of the thighs. Make it feel nice to rock the forehead across the mat from side to side, massaging that space out between the eyebrows, softening through the hips. 2 more like this. Okay, rolling all the way up, so you're sitting on the back of your heels. Take it slow to rise. We're going to come into a reclined hero's pose, and you can take your knees wide the distance of your mat, big toes to touch. It's a little bit of a different version. You may have done it before with your knees together and your seat between your heels, and if you're used to that, you're definitely welcome to take that version, no problem. So if you're coming with me again, knees wide the distance of the mat, big toes touching, just as if you were in a child's pose. You're going to take your hands behind your back here, with your fingertips facing forward to the sit bones. Think about drawing your shoulders down and back, opening up the chest just like we did. And then you're going to lift your hips up away from your heels and start to lengthen your tailbone towards the top edge of your mat. Really feeling the space of the low back broaden. Seeing if you can keep that length in the spine, but start to lower your sit bones back down towards your heels. Should start to feel a nice opening to the top of the thighs. You can place a block between your sit bones and your heels, or maybe bring the bum right down onto the feet. For those who are a little bit more open in the front lines of the body, you can explore drawing yourself back onto your forearms. And for some, you might even have the space to come all the way down onto the shoulders. You can reach your arms up overhead, maybe grab onto opposite elbows here. Just be really mindful, this is a big ask for the knees. So if the knees are floating away from the mat and you're feeling any tension around the knee joint, then I want you to come out a level, maybe even two. So the death is never really kind of the final destination, right? We each have our own expression of the pose with the exact same benefits, just depending on where our body's at, and it may be different from day to day. And just breathe right into the top of the thighs here. Beautiful opening for the hip flexors. And slowly here, grab onto the ankles. Press down onto the forearms, that is if you're all the way back. And then as mindfully as you can, make your way up to a tall seat. And then bring your thighs together, shift your weight over to one side, reach your legs out in front. And then we're just gonna come down into a bridge pose that, since we're here, why don't we do a little bit of core, can feel nice to kind of burn some heat. So last really big push of energy here. I'm gonna come into variation of bow pose. So soles of the feet flat on the mat to start, knees bent. Rooting into your sit bones, take your hands to the back of the thighs to start. And then use that as leverage to lift your heart up. So nice and proud through the chest. Try to avoid rounding through the low back here as best you can. Keeping your navel in towards your spine, belly toned. Just gonna draw the weight back onto the center of your sit bones and then see if you can lift your heels off the mat. Starting with just paralleling your calves and your shins to the mat with the knees bent still. Again, hands to the back of the thighs. If you want to add on a layer of heat, a layer of depth and challenge here, you can reach your arms forward. Keep lifting your heart nice and bright. Again, low belly stays toned. Try to avoid rounding through the low back. Maybe you work your legs towards straight. Maybe you're shaking like crazy like me, and that's fine. We're gonna pulse this. So on your next inhale, lift a little bit higher. And then as you exhale, you're just gonna straighten out just to about a hover below or above the mat rather. And then rising all the way back up, inhale, lift. Once again, exhale, lengthen out, hover. Come all the way back up, inhale. Good, two more like that, exhale. Inhale, rise. Exhale through. Come all the way back up, inhale. Lower the soles of the feet, wrap your arms around your legs. And then really give yourself a big hug here. You can draw the shoulders apart from one another. Just breathe into the back of the heart here, round your upper back. Okay, bridge or a supported bridge if you have a block, or maybe wheel if you're open. We haven't done a lot of back bend, so because my body's just not quite warm enough for that, with this particular practice, I'm gonna stick to bridge and walk us through that. So if you're coming with me, place the soles of the feet hip distance and parallel. You can walk your heels close back towards your glutes, maybe grazing the back of the heels with the fingers here. And then pressing down through all four corners of your feet, you're gonna press and lift your hips up. As your hips and pelvis lift up, this is gonna send your chest in towards your chin. And see if you can really lightly just draw the chin away from the chest so you keep length in the back of the neck. And then arms can stay alongside you with palms down, or one at a time, you can start to roll the shoulders underneath, maybe interlacing the fingers, clasping the palms. If you're taking that variation, think about pressing down through the forearms and using that as leverage to press and lift your hips. Maybe getting a little bit more height there. The inner thighs are really working here, so don't let the glutes take all the work. Think about drawing your tailbone towards the back of your knees. Inner thighs squeezing an imaginary block. Two more. Last breath in. Full breath out. Release the arms and slowly lower all the way down. Bring the soles of the feet together and knees fall out. Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined butterfly pose. Maybe take one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly, close the eyes. Permission to just feel what you feel here. breathing deep from within the belly. Okay, take your hands now to the outer edges of the thighs, draw the knees back in towards one another, and then hug the knees in towards your chest here. Take a gentle rock from side to side. Back to center, take your hands to the back of the thighs, and then option to start to rock and roll along the length of the spine like you're in a rocking chair. If that doesn't serve your back, you can just roll over to one side, and then you're either going to gain enough momentum or just press yourself up to a seat. And then come over onto your hands and your knees. We're going to meet once again in down dog, just as a transition. Lift your feet, tuck your toes, and in this downward facing dog, I'll invite you to bring a little bigger bend to your knees than you've been working with, just to give your low back a little bit of extra space to recalibrate from that back bend. And then coming into pigeon pose. On your next breath in, sweep your right leg up and back, and then draw your right knee behind your right wrist, lower your shin, and lengthen your left leg in one long line behind you. Now take a moment and make sure that you're nice and level, even through both hips. So if it does feel like you're collapsing to your right side, you could always kind of take your cushion or blanket, stick it underneath you for a little bit more support. Find that nice lift of the pelvic floor. And that might be enough. You might stay upright here with the chest. If that's causing any issues with your knee, I will give you an alternative, so don't come deeper for now. But for those who want to come a little bit deeper into their pigeon, you can melt your heart forward and down. And if you're coming all the way through here, see if you can give your forehead some support. So if it doesn't already connect to the mat, you can place your fist over fist and just give yourself that connection so your spine can fully surrender into this space. And then for those who would like an alternative hip opener, you're always welcome to thread the needle on your back instead. So similar to bridge pose, knees bent, take your right ankle to your right thigh, right toe stay flexed and active. And then you're just going to draw that shape fully in towards you, any amount, just until you feel an opening. Stretch without strain. Maybe interlacing your hands behind the back of the thigh, but try and keep your shoulders down and back. So a couple of options. You're still targeting that same area of the outer hip. Pigeon is my absolute favorite, so I'm going to come back into that and then just melt into it with you guys for a couple more breaths. So it's said that we tend to hold a lot of unresolved kind of feelings, emotions in the hips. So if the mind starts to wander here, just know it's really natural, and don't judge, and try not to attach to anything that comes up, but really utilize your breath to just simply breathe through it. And then nice and slow, we're going to come out, press your palms down, start to lift your heart up. Tuck your back toes if they're not already there. And then sweep your right leg back, downward facing dog. And a counter posture for the right hip. It might feel nice to bend your right knee and take a few large circles around that right hip joint. If you've got wild thing and you've got the space, you can stack your right hip open like we did, and maybe reach up and over with the ball of your right foot and land into the outer edge of your left foot. Spin and turn your heart open. Reach with the right fingertips. And then slowly coming out of that, if you're there, gaze back to the mat, unwind, send your right leg to the sky. Optional three-legged vinyasa here. Or skip it and meet in down dog. We'll meet you there. Okay, left side, when you're ready, inhale. Draw your left knee forward to your left wrist. Walk your right foot straight back from your right hip, so you can take a peek and make sure that's in one long line behind you. And again, lift of the pelvic floor, even rate between left and right. You can stay upright, you can take this on your back. You've got that figure four thread the needle option on the second side. Give your forehead something to rest on. Allow your spine to relax and breathe deep here. Activating the rest and digest system in our nervous system. Breathing deep, inviting in tranquility and calmness. And any thoughts that come up here, totally normal. Try not to attach, no judgment. Keep breathing. 3 more right here. Okay, slowly press the palms down, rise up. Tuck your back toes, pull your left leg back. You're going to take the same counter posture as you took on the other side. So maybe keeping the left knee bent, taking a few large circles, massaging out. Or if you flipped your dog while thing on the other side, you can do that here. I'm just going to walk myself over here, give myself space. Bring your left leg up and over, landing to the ball of your left foot, outer edge of your right. Spin your hips and heart open towards the sky. Big lift, reach through the left fingers. And slowly coming back out. Optional vinyasa, maybe keeping those back toes lifted as you lower through chaturanga, elbows in. Press into the tops of both feet to lift your heart here. Good, roll back over the toes, down dog. Take a full breath in. Exhale, settle in. Okay, option for one last slow motion, juicy vinyasa here. Totally optional. It will be our last vinyasa of the practice. Really exaggerate the movement on this one. Imagine you're moving through honey or molasses. Groove with your breath. Slow and mindful. Nicely done, you guys. We're going to meet in a seat. Lower your knees. Sit back on your heels and then weight just over to one side. Reach the legs out in front, coming into Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. Pull the flesh straight back away from your sit bones so you can get grounded and rooted into your seat here. Legs extended, feet are active. Draw toes to shins. Press energy out through your heels. You can prop up onto the edge of a blanket or a cushion here. And then if the hamstrings are tight, or if you have any issues going on with your low back where you just need that extra space, I'm going to invite you to bend the knees here a little bit more. And then pressing down, reach the crown of the head up, energy drawing upward, take a full breath in. And then as you exhale, hinging forward and down here over your legs. Think about full length of the spine, drawing you forward and down. Center of your heart pulls forward the whole time. Rib cage to the top of the thighs first. And then upper spine and head may relax, option. You don't need to grab onto your toes here. You can definitely connect wherever or even have your hands alongside you. Again, so you can keep that integrity of the breath here all the way through. We're almost there. Slowly, as you came down, we'll rise up, pressing the earth away. And then we're going to make our way all the way onto our back. So make sure you've got the space to come down. Find a kind of round postures here, coming into a reclined twist. Just take my hairband or hair tie out. Soles of the feet on the mat, lift your hips and shift them over to the right. And then just allow your legs to fall over to the left. And you can stack your knees here. You can also place your cushion or block between your inner thighs or below the bottom knee and the mat if you want a little bit more support. And then right arm reaches out towards the right, so either straight out or you can bend your elbow here, cactus the arms. Left arm might come out too, can feel nice, open the chest wide. And then your gaze can stay straight up towards the sky, or maybe take your gaze up and over to your right. I encourage you to close your eyes here and melt in. And your gaze is going to come back to center first. Neutral spine, draw the knees back to center. Place the soles of the feet down to lift your hips and shift them over to the left. And then drop your knees to the right. Take the same version in the legs as you took on the other side. Arms reaching out left to right. Maybe gaze up and over to your opposite shoulder. Breath is still there, but you can start to emphasize your exhales. Allow them to really deepen and elongate here. Deep sense of relaxation. Guided by the breath. 2 more. Turn your gaze back to center first. Draw the knees back to center next. Hug the knees in or take a happy baby pose, shining the soles of the feet up towards the sky. Grab onto the inner arches of the feet or the ankles or the calves. Spread the knees wide, and you can rock from side to side here or stay in stillness, whatever feels best. So at the end of this meditation, you've got, I'd like to say, at least 5 minutes to dedicate to a full shavasana or a full seated meditation. I really encourage you to do that. The ancient practice of yoga was really designed around the idea of creating space in the body so that you could sit more comfortably in those moments of meditation. Really, it's during that time where you can fully integrate and fully transform through this practice. The kind of essence of the video, we're going to roll over to the side here and take a breath or two, still in stillness. So we get our own moment here to integrate. And then pressing yourself up to a seat, just like we started practice. And one last moment here to sit up tall with each other. And close your eyes. Option, hands to heart. Taking a final moment here, maybe recalling the intention that you set at the beginning of practice, and just notice how it kind of landed with you. Notice where you're at compared to how you felt at the beginning of practice. And as always, a final offering of gratitude here. Being thankful for this body and thankful for this breath. And thanks to each of you for tuning in and sharing your practice. I hope everyone stays healthy, active, vibrant. Have a beautiful day, you guys. Thanks for joining.